UCLA football gets 3 gifts for Christmas. Magic Johnson urges the Lakers to trade for Jimmy Butler, and an ESPN analyst says the Clippers are to blame for a stricter salary cap. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It's December 26, 2024. I hope you all had a lovely holiday. For me, it's one more day at work over here in Portland before I head back home, which is going to be delightful. That will be my Christmas. If you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Click-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, look at the scoreboard. Lakers 115, Golden State 113. Austin Reeves steals the show for both LeBron James and Steph Curry with a triple-double and the game-winning basket with 1 second to go. Now, James did his part. He added 31 points. Curry scored 38 in a losing cause. Meanwhile, Anthony Davis sprained his ankle. According to ESPN, though, he's only going to be day-to-day. The Lakers will play at Sacramento on Saturday. Davis could be back for that game. Meanwhile, today, there are no games involving LA teams. So what do you say we get to the news? UCLA is continuing to make strides in the transfer portal. They added another 3 newbies on Christmas Day. And no, I don't want to go overboard on the Christmas cliches that journalists love to do, because I don't want to picture Deshaun Foster in a powder blue pair of pajamas under the Christmas tree. Let's not go there. Let's all get to the actual facts. As for the transfers, they all play defense. The Bruins added a 16th player in cornerback Robert Stafford, last seen with the University of Miami. As a sophomore, Stafford recorded 7 tackles in 12 games. 2 years ago, he was considered the 18th best cornerback in the recruiting class of 2023, according to 24/7 Sports. That publication scouted him and claimed he has, quote, NFL upside, unquote. In addition, they brought in Scooter Jackson from Utah Tech, which is fine, but I'm having a little bit trouble believing that there's a place called Utah Tech, and B, a grown man called Scooter. Now, either way, he was super productive for the Utah Tech Fighting Mormons. He had 37 tackles, 5 pass breakups, and a pick. Finally, the Bruins added linebacker Isaiah Chisholm, formerly of Oregon State. Now, this guy is going to be very likely a starter for the Bruins. He had 17... too many numbers. He had 75 tackles for the Beavers last year. Kind of a difference, yeah. Now, all of this is great. Can't front. But I want to temper the excitement on just one level. Half of the recruits that UCLA has signed play defensive back. And it makes you wonder if maybe, only one assistant coach is truly kicking ass on the recruiting trail. Now, I don't know for sure. I'm willing to be proven wrong. It's not that huge of a thing. But the Bruins have gone too deep on defensive back transfers. Last I checked, the Bruins were missing 10 starters, which means there were holes all across linebacker and all across the defensive line. And I haven't even mentioned yet the fact that they are slim on offensive line, quarterback, running back. You got it. So, yeah, good for the Bruins. A lot more work to do, though. A lot more. We rarely entertain trade rumors on this channel because even professional reporters are susceptible to clickbait, which is super disappointing for a guy like me who spent a couple of decades in journalism, right? You got these scribes, they're talking about misinformation and disinformation and how it's poison to the First Amendment, and then they participate in said misinformation and disinformation. So well done, fellas. Well done. So what I'm about to say to you has about as much value as a gift card to Big Lots, okay? Magic Johnson wants the Lakers to trade for Jimmy Butler. There is only one reason why I give this any validity whatsoever. Magic has the ear of Jeannie Buss. He's the former head of basketball operations for the Lakers. Now, here is your dose of reality. Butler apparently does want out of Miami because he wants to win now. But ESPN reported his preferred list of teams, and the Lakers are not on that list. So there's that. Also, he's 35. He makes about $49 million this year. Saith Magic, quote, "You almost have to say, do you want to win now, or do you want to save all the draft capital for later? And I say, with LeBron, you've got to put out the best team," unquote. Cool. But you're also trading with Pat Riley. And if there's one thing we know about Pat Riley, he's not a sucker. He's going to want a lot back. I don't think the Lakers have as much to offer, to be frank. I thought this was an interesting story. We've discussed previously how the NBA has adjusted its collective bargaining agreement with this new evil second apron. And it severely crimps NBA franchises from creating so-called super teams. Now, I could throw a bunch of numbers up against the wall, but the upshot is this. If you reach a certain level with your team payroll, the NBA now puts so many restrictions in place that it makes virtually any trade damn near impossible to accomplish. So how did this evil second apron come about? According to ESPN blowhard Brian Windbag, the Clippers did it. Windbag was on a podcast that I don't listen to and said the Clippers had built a reputation for these one-sided dubious trades. Okay? Then in 2022, the Clippers acquired Norman Powell and Robert Covington from Portland by trading them Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a second-round draft pick. Out of what was sent to the Trailblazers, there's only one player still in the league, and that's Johnson, who doesn't even stay in Portland. He's a reserve over in Brooklyn. So, according to Windbag, quote, "We were sitting at breakfast when the trade, he was so pissed off. He was like, I cannot believe that the Clippers got Norm Powell. You know, this is like, we've got to put a stop to this," unquote. First, I would say is that anytime you don't name names, I mean, I hate to break this to you. I name drop to you about who I know. It sounds like I'm trying to brag about myself. But if you're writing for ESPN, you have to drop names. So-and-so told me this, for one, right? And now, it's not that I don't believe any of the story. Do I think Windbag knows a few owners? Of course. And a big part of this story, I believe, is that Windbag gets a really big breakfast. I buy that. What I don't believe, what I absolutely don't believe, is that a random NBA owner knew who Norman Powell was. I'm serious. No disrespect to Norman Powell. But you guys out in ESPN land, Windbag, you're trying to tell me that 29 other owners, all 29 other owners, were all up in arms over Norman Powell being traded. Norman Powell. Never been an all-star. Oh my God, this is ruining the league. Norman Powell. Only twice in his career has he averaged more than 20 points per game, including this one, tearing the league to shreds, acquiring Norman Powell. Yeah, everyone else around the league was furious, Windbag. Totally buy it. Not in the slightest. Norman Powell. That everyone was so angry. That is so Mean Girls of you, dude. You're trying to you're trying to be simultaneously a professional journalist and Lindsay Lohan at the same time with this Mean Girls bit. Because I'm telling you something, I went back when I heard this story. This trade went down in 2022. There was not one story in any press outlet that said the Clippers are ruining the NBA by acquiring Norman Powell. That the owners now were conspiring to put in so many restrictions against the Clippers for getting Norman Powell. There is the second apron, the evil second apron, is not the Norman Powell rule. Because there was nothing, again, saying all the owners are conspiring against the Clippers for their underhanded trades. I don't buy that part of the story at all. I think if anything did happen for the evil second apron, it was a bunch of owners saying, you know what, we want more of our money. And we're willing to screw other teams in order to do it. And if that includes big market teams, such as the ones in LA, so be it. Do not pin this on Norman Powell. Stop it. But by all means, enjoy your big breakfast. USC professor Pete Carroll, who likes to coach as a hobby, you may have heard of him, has expressed an interest in returning to the NFL, specifically with the Chicago Bears, according to ESPN. He is one of 4 coaches to win a Super Bowl and a collegiate national title. Obviously, he got the collegiate national title back when he was coaching USC. As you might also imagine, the team has another Trojans legend at quarterback in Caleb Williams. Do I think it's going to happen? To be frank, totally don't care. J.K. Dobbins is back at practice for the Chargers for the first time since being placed on injured reserve with a knee sprain about a month ago. And that's kind of needed. The team has been saying for almost a calendar year how much they want to run the ball. So there's that. There are multiple routes, meanwhile, for the Rams to qualify for the NFL playoffs this weekend. And if they are going to qualify for the playoffs this weekend, it starts tonight. They're not playing. The Seattle Seahawks are. A Seattle loss tonight puts a Rams victory Saturday as a clincher for the deal. By the way, the Rams will be playing Arizona at SoFi. If you are wondering about time frames for Dodger pitchers returning from injury, since about 113 of them underwent the knife, right? Know this. Emmett Sheehan and Brusdar Graterol will not be back until late in the season. This is according to General Manager Brandon Gomes. Sheehan had Tommy John surgery before opening day this year. Recovery time from Tommy John surgery is about 1.5 years. Meanwhile, Graterol had shoulder surgery. He had served multiple stints on the injured list, but he managed to tough it out and did get into a couple of World Series games this year. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me if you are excited about UCLA's work in the transfer portal or if you are concerned that it seems to be a little lopsided. For that matter, do you either buy A, the Lakers going after Jimmy Butler, or B, the Clippers being to blame for new restrictions because they acquired Norman Powell? And if you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.